This is Keith Boggs of Stonebriar Property Inspections, and this is the debrief for 2035 Londonderry Drive. I've got about 150 items. Most of these are pictures. All the stuff will not be in the report like I was mentioning, but we're going to talk about it all right now. So you'll be able to save this video for your records. So the first picture you see here is just a picture, as soon as it opens up here. Just a picture of the front of the house, nothing necessarily wrong. That's just for the title page of the report. Yeah. This next thing is a video. So we're going to be looking at this little red triangle right here. It's called a low flow indicator. If you turn the water on or if there's a leak, it'll spin around. It's very sensitive. If you just have even a very small leak, it'll start slowly spinning around. So we want it to be sitting basically completely still. Sometimes they'll vacillate back and forth like that. That's fine. That's just the water rocking back and forth in there. But if it's going in one direction continually, even very slowly, that means if everything's off, that means there's a leak somewhere. So this is about 30 or 40 second video. We're going to be looking just at that little low flow indicator and to show that it did not move. So there was no supply leaks today.
All right, so that's a good thing. It's not moving.
Yeah. I'm just going to play the whole thing so we have it for your recording that you're going to.
So this is outside?
Yeah, I'll show you where this is at. I'll show you that. I'll be showing you where things are located and stuff. It's pretty short. You get about halfway.
And when you say there's some leaking, if it's spinning and there's some leaking, then where should we look?
If everything, well, this is something you can do yourself. I'll show you where you can do this. But if everything in the house is off, nothing's running, that's just sit completely still. Except sometimes it'll do this thing, but usually not. You could go out to the meter. I'll show you where that's at here in just a second, as soon as this video stops. Okay. So this is your meter. This is out by the street. I'll show you exactly where this is located. And so that low flow indicator is right about here. So if you think you have a leak, before you call a plumber, you can actually go out there by yourself, take the cover off of that, and just sit there and stare at that thing for a couple minutes.
Okay.
If it's not moved within 2 minutes, then you're fine. But again,
anything's leaking, that's gonna
cause any supply leak, any pressure leak, not any drainage. It won't tell you drainage leaks. This is just the supply going to the house from the utility company. This is how they measure
just the supply
when they're going to charge you.
Yeah.
It's actually done electronically now, but they used to. There's numbers on here too. They used to come out here. I don't know if you remember. They go out to this. People walk around looking at the meter.
Oh,
that's how they used to do it. Now it's all electronic. I don't think they even get out of their cars. This is your double check valve for your sprinkler system. That's for protection from cross contamination, and both of those things are located at the front here. This is your water meter. And that's your double check valve. Okay. This is a location of your gas meter. We're just required to tell you where that's at. Okay, so the first real inspection thing I did was get up on the roof. You can see how I'm lifting the shingles with my fingers. Okay, so these shingles are not adhering. They should stick together. Okay, if they're bonding properly and if they're installed properly, I can't do that.
You cannot lift it separately.
No, they're stuck. They're glued together. They're basically just glued together. There's an adhesive. I'll probably just show you on some other pictures. So this is on the starter row. This is actually missing the adhesive, but I've got some other pictures. So these are actually installed wrong. But the problem with this is if I can lift it with my fingers at some point, especially as the shingles age, then the wind can blow them and they get blown up, and you can get failure of shingles. I did not see any failure of the shingles, but I do have a video of the whole roof. We'll look at that. That's more the same. This is called felt paper right here. It's installed improperly. This piece of metal flashing should be covered up by that felt paper. So that's another install mistake that they made. Pretty common. I see it all the time. Same thing.
With the old roof?
All roofs. See, brand new roofs.
Like how old? Do you know how old is that?
Oh, this roof's pretty old. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. The roof probably needs to be replaced.
Okay.
Yeah. But see how you can see the adhesive there? Adhesive. See that black adhesive right there?
Yeah.
So the shingles are not sticking together. And I saw that in multiple, not everywhere I checked wasn't like that, but multiple locations, the shingles aren't sticking together. So again, as they age, right now they're still fairly rigid, but as they age, they become more flimsy, flexible. So you've got that. See, here's adhesive here, and they're just not sticking together. It's very possible they installed this in the wintertime. This sometimes happens during the wintertime. That's more the same. You'll see something here in a second. It's going to be a little startling, probably. Okay, this is some ultraviolet deterioration of the ridge shingles. That's just showing the sun has done some damage to the roof. And then this is, see how I'm lifting here, and all these shingles are getting lifted the whole way up. So there's several areas where not just a couple shingles, but you lift the shingles and the whole section lifts up.
Right.
So this is at some point you're going to get a storm bad enough it's going to blow those shingles up. and you're going to have shingles getting blown away.
Right.
That's more of the same. Now this is a little close up of the shingles. You can see this is what the shingle should look like right there.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the tar underneath here, the tar paper.
Mm.
That's ultraviolet deterioration. That's the sun deteriorating. Now that these granules are, especially this area right here, but anywhere that you see it, the shingles look like this and not like that, now they're really subject to getting ultraviolet deterioration, and those granules that are left will start popping off too. So it's going to start, certain sections of the roof are going to start aging very quickly because they've got no granules to protect them. And that's the same here. You see there's several shingles.
So this one is the one that looks good.
No, that still looks not good.
Not good, but better than that.
Yeah, but a little bit there, a little bit there.
Yeah.
A little bit there. And there's multiple shingles through there. This is pretty clearly.
Yeah.
All through there, all through that. This is just you can't really see. I'll circle it in the report. I can draw and illustrate stuff.
Yes, please.
But you can. There's little nail heads here you can't really see in this picture that they forgot to cover up with sealant. So when they install the new roof, any nail head that goes through the roof needs to have like caulking on top of it, sealed, because eventually if you don't seal them, they'll rust through. And since they penetrate through the sheathing, if that nail rusts through, then you start getting water leakage into the attic. So that's not going on now. It looks fine now. But,
okay. Oops. But definitely, I would love you to just circle that and make sure.
Yeah. I will. Yeah. And I'll be typing things and stuff.
Yeah.
This is actually the video of the roof. So this is about 2 minutes long. And so basically, after I did the inspection, you can see some of the damage there too.
Right.
Basically, after I do my inspection, I kind of walk around with the camera. People always ask me, what does the roof look like? What does the roof look like? So I just started taking videos. So I got a video of the whole roof.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and play that right now. And again, it's about 2 minutes, so we're going to let play so you have it for the recording.
I don't know. I've never touched a roof before, but can you lift every shingles, or it should not be lifted at all?
Shouldn't be lifting anywhere. It should be stuck together. If it's bonded, I'm licensed by the state. The state of Texas says we have to call out something called adhesion. That means how well are the shingles sticking together. And so that's one of the things we do. We check to see if they're sticking together. And you can see they're even loose right there.
Right.
And that's basically when I get up the roof, I kind of look around and look for what the areas to me look like they're loose, and 99% of the time they are. There were some that I went to touch and they didn't lift. But if they're done properly, if you try to lift them, they'll tear in half. They were ripped. So I didn't experience anything like that. So they're just loose, pretty much. You can see the areas wrecked. If I was to pause that, you'll be able to see them. Some areas are fine, but there's no missing shingles yet. But it is showing signs of aging with ultraviolet deterioration and the granules missing. Those are all signs that the roof is getting closer to the end of its life. It gets a little wobbly at times because I'm trying to keep my balance,
I think they said they repaired something due to the hailing, right? 2008?
Yeah, those look like there's been some shingles that are different color. It looks like there've been some repairs done.
Yeah.
They may have some of these shingles that are loose may be because they didn't use a good quality shingle when they did the repairs. That could be it too. That's just the end of that video. Oops. That's the video. Okay, come on. This is showing some mortar joint cracking. This is on the side of the house. Okay, that's going through the mortar joint.
That's what Patrick's also mentioned. The same thing.
Yeah, there's some other. He didn't mention all of them. This is just the first thing that on this side is where I started on the outside, and so that's just up in this mortar joint all along here. Now they can do something, and again, this is not structurally significant. They can do something called repointing it, where they redo the mortar joint. The only problem is if you don't get a good mortar guy, then he doesn't match the mortar the right color, then it goes from being a crack that you really almost can't see to something that sticks right out because it's a different color. Does that make sense? I've seen houses in Dallas. They've done a bunch of repointing with really bad workmanship, and it looks like the house looks like a jigsaw puzzle. It's just all these horrible lines going through it. So they can repoint. This is on the side of the house, and maybe you want to repoint this, but some of the ones at the front patio, they're covered areas. I probably won't repoint them because it may just draw attention to them. There's a vapor barrier behind there, so everything should be fine.
Okay.
This is the water pressure to the house.
Yeah.
The range is 40 to 80. We're at about 60. We're going to talk about some more things with the water pressure here in a minute, though.
Okay. Where that is?
This is on this side of the house right here.
Okay. That's my husband.
Hey, how are you doing? These are some trees that are close to the foundation here. I'm not sure if he mentioned anything about it. He did. Yeah, so you got several. Now these aren't really big trees, and they're not really near plumbing areas. You know, I'm not super concerned about them, but it will state in the report that there's several trees close to the foundation. And more, usually I worry more about with trees more than the foundation. I worry about is like plumbing, underground plumbing, because the roots can damage the plumbing. That's when I've seen really large trees next to the foundation that hadn't moved a bit.
Right. But that small one, if we want to take it out, we'll just take it out, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't take them out. They're pretty. They're not,
If you say so, I'll take it out.
Yeah, I mean, that's up to you. They're not affecting the house.
Okay.
I'm not sure if he said anything about them affecting the house, but they're not. I can't see any effects of the house. This is another motor joint crack. So he was talking about different types of cracking. Cracking going through the motor joints, that's very common, and then generally not structurally significant. And there's different degrees of cracking. There's cracking going through the motor joints and then into the bricks through the bricks. And there's cracking that goes into the foundation grade beam. There's cupping cracking and down warping cracking and deflections of fascia boards. There's a lot of other signs of a house moving, and what you're seeing here is very minor. But again, this is up front, so you can imagine if that was a different color. See, right now, if somebody's walking up, not going to see that. You're not really going to see that crack unless they're looking for it. But if that was a wrong color, it's going to stand right out.
Right.
These I can't see very. These are your double clean outs. I'm just telling you where they're at. They're at just up front, at the front of the house. This is a GFCI that's broken and rotten, and its covers come off. The cover came off of it, so this needs to be replaced.
Okay, what's that for?
That's your electrical outlet.
Oh, so it's not really something.
Yeah, it needs to. That's something you want to ask for. Yeah, it's electrical. It's right now. It's open. That's electricity in there.
Okay.
And there's no weathertight cover on it because it's right there in my hand.
Okay.
So if you happen to be out there and it was raining, or you were wet and you touch that, if it's defective, if it's working right, it'll trip it. If it's defective, it's not going to trip and you're going to get shocked. Probably wouldn't kill you, but it would probably scare you. That one right there just needs to be replaced.
Okay.
This light never came on. So, and there's a switch inside. I couldn't find out where that switch. We'll talk about that.
Oh, was that the one?
Yeah, I couldn't figure out where that went. So.
Probably that one.
No. I don't know where. It may be something that they had a fan in there at one time or something. Or sometimes they make switchable outlets. But I put my tester in. I flicked it a bunch of different places. And nothing came on or off. This is another loose outlet at the front patio, and that should be GFCI too.
Okay.
This is some cracking at the front. I'll show you what that's at in just a second. That's some motor joint cracking right there. It's pretty unnoticeable, but again, if you're worried about, you can seal them with a clear sealant too. If you're worried about moisture getting there, but there's no signs of that right now. This is a crack inside the flat work at the front patio here. Right down there, that's not structurally significant. And more trees and close to the house. This is a box missing a cover. Both sides on the east and west side, the drainage is not that great. Over here on the east, on the west side there, they've got these downspouts terminating close by, which is putting excessive water there. You want it to extend away from the house, but it would probably be better if you extended these out.
All the way out?
Yeah, all the way out. So they're not pouring water into an area that already has too much water. So we worry about water ponding at the house because it can affect the foundation movement. There's really no movement going on, so I'm not super concerned about it. But you could install some French drains or subsurface drainage, or just extend these out toward the street. These are your two condensers. This stuff's really just for me. These are your manufacturer's labels. I use these when I look at the panel box. Same thing. That's all just for me. I do have a video here in a second. This is the video of both units working to show that they are working properly. They sound good. Nothing seems weird. The air conditioning was cooling good.
Do you know how old are they?
I'll have to look at the label.
Okay.
It's on the label. Yeah.
Would you please, like, so I know,
I can put it in the report.
Yeah.
I'll put it in the report for you.
But it looks like it's not going to stop working soon. So.
You never know. They could last 10 more minutes. They could last 20 more years. I've seen condensers that are 40 years old still working. And I've seen them after 6-7 years. They've got to be replaced. It just depends.
Is that even a good brand or what?
One's a Goodman and one's a Rheem. A Goodman is generally a kind of a lower end brand.
Oh.
And then the Rheem that's a decent brand. Okay. Yeah. When you go to replace them one day, I would probably put trains in there. They're much better. They're more expensive. But this is here just to remind me to tell you that the wheels and the tracks are not lubricated. So you can go to Home Depot and get something called white lithium grease. You want to get the clear stuff. You want to take each one of these like WD-40, but don't use that. Use white lithium grease. Just spray the wheels with the grease and spray inside the tracks and just everywhere, anywhere there's something moving, just spray it down. Just make sure you pull your car out, otherwise it's going to drip on your car. But just spray it down real good. It's going to make that door a lot quieter and it's going to make it last a lot longer. Okay. This is inside the panel box. Just to show that I did look at the panel box. Everything's fine with the panel box. No problems. These are your 2 water heaters. Again, these are really just for me, but they will be in the recording. Manufacturer's labels. Okay, see how you've got both these. This is your drain pans here. They got them both are terminating at the garage floor. Now, when they built the house, they were allowed to do this. Today, they're not allowed to do this. They should terminate to the exterior of the structure. So if you want to, the only problem with this is fine, but you have to, if you leave it terminating here, you have to remember not to put anything of value on the floor in there. I've seen people put like antiques in the garage, and then the water heaters leak, and then it goes to the garage floor, and then it damages like an antique or a picture or something. So, or you hire somebody a handyman can do this. They just put a little hole through here, and then run both of these TPR or both of these drain lines out to the exterior of the structure.
Is that a hard thing to do?
This is just pictures of the inside of the garage. There'll be a statement, I can't see behind here. I don't know if there's a big giant hole there. I don't think there is, but it'll just say in the report that there's areas I couldn't see and to question the sellers. This is a test of the garage door. So we do 2 tests here. We do a pressure reverse test. The garage door is going to come down. When it hits that can there, it should reverse pretty quickly. And then do a test with electronic eyes to make sure that when you put something in front of them, it reverses. So I'm just going to play this little video to show you that both those tests did work. Now if it would have stayed there or crushed the can, then we know something's wrong. So that's just the pressure reverse test. And then you'll see me walk over here and stick my foot in front of that eye there to make the garage reverse. There we go.
So even like you just stick your it's from the
anything in front of that electronic eye. Yeah, those are 2. So if that failed, the pressure reverse should reverse. They're kind of both to protect you. This is you can't really see here. This is lint off the dryer. So I would recommend
the dryer
off the dryer, like for your clothes dryer.
Yeah.
You can't see it's just a bad picture, but there's some lint in there. So probably that duct probably needs some cleaning out.
So just clean it?
Yeah, there's guys who do that. They'll do that for probably $75. Okay. That's just where it's located. This light, I didn't get it to come on at first, but I did finally get it to come on. So it does work. I thought it didn't, but it does. This is the other side of the house. And again, we've got ponding water here. Okay, so both east and west side. A little wet over there. So again, we want the moisture away from the house, not only just for the foundation, but you got moisture ponding like that, it's going to attract rodents and animals and snakes and bugs, mosquitoes, that kind of stuff.
Extend this one.
That would help extending those out. In the report I can draw. I'll show you where they should go.
Yeah.
So.
Would you give some recommendation on your report too, like what to do?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, this is showing some movement on the inside of the house. I don't know if he mentioned this, but there's a little bit of separation of the crown molding here, a little separation of that detail. in 2 areas. That's on this side and on that side. Pretty minor though. There's also one crack. I think it's over there.
Yeah, it's over there.
Yeah. That's just to remind me to tell you I couldn't figure out where that goes.
Yeah.
So just ask them. This won't be in a report. That's just something to remind you to ask them.
Yeah.
This is their microwave, and then you'll see me. This is me testing the manufacturer's label for me, and that's showing the microwave does work.
Mm-hmm.
This is your cooktop. This is your oven. Oven was set to 350. Oven did not heat right though. It only heated to 300. So oven's not heating properly. So the range is 325 to 375. That's a label that's faded. And then this is the cooktop again, showing that each one of the burners do work.
Okay.
To eventually go to 1,000 degrees.
Yeah, I think the oven is the only thing that's older than
it's probably original. It's faded. The label's faded.
Yeah.
This is your dishwasher. This is the testing dishwasher. It was heating, and that's just the manufacturer's label. Okay, so this kitchen sink here never got that hot. And we have one more location in the house where the water didn't get hot. Everywhere else was fine. So probably the cartridge in here has gone bad. So plumber needs to go put a new cartridge in here.
Okay.
That should fix that problem. Yeah. If you put it on hot, it doesn't hardly get hot at all. It should get hot enough at some point where you got to pull your hand away. You know?
Right. And I like it in my kitchen.
Yeah, especially the dish. When you're doing dishes, you want nice hot water.
Yeah.
You can leave run if you want. That's fine. But it never got hot when I was at it.
So you need to replace this one with easy, right?
Yeah. If you can do it yourself.
And is that because of it's just because of the process or
the cartridge? I think the cartridge has gone bad because everywhere else is fine. So except for one other area.
Shouldn't be that hot too.
Yeah. You can hire a plumber to do it. This is just to remind me to tell you that I did test the disposal. I filled the sinks up with water and I drained them at the same time I was testing the disposal to look for leaks and did not find any leaks under there. That's the manufacturer's label. This is this window right here in the center, and I couldn't get it open. It sticks. So it looks like it may be broken. It's separating there. So that window needs to be repaired. And this is the crack I just told you about right here. It kind of goes up there.
Right.
Yeah. Nothing structurally significant. Okay, now I'm changing my mind now. I thought these 3 windows in that door had failed seals, but they're looking fine now. I'm guessing it must be because it was high humidity today. I was gonna be calling these out and saying that there was a problem, but they seem fine.
Okay.
It looked like they were failing them. This is the fireplace, and the fireplace did work. This is a register that's missing a filter. Now they do have filters at both the units up there, so they may have removed this when they put the filters at the units. So that's where it's located right there. Okay, this is in the master shower. The water is not coming out. You remember I talked about the 60 psi. Even though it's within range, and at the second floor it's even more noticeable. The pressure is not coming out that hard. Now if the head's a fairly big head, that you make the head smaller, it's going to give it more pressure. You restrict the water, it's going to give it more pressure. 60 should be fine for this house. So I'm not sure if it's a problem with the head at this other location too, but everything else seems fine. I think I took that little mistake. Oh no, that's a leak of the master. Okay, this is a video, I think. Next one's a video. Here we go. There's a leak. You can see it there. Dripping at the master shower valve. This is the powder bathroom. The outlet is loose in the wall.
What do you think causing the leak?
The valve, probably in the cartridge.
Just the valve?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, probably that cartridge too. So that's loose in the wall. You can jiggle it. This is upstairs. Again, I'll have to look again. These looked like they were failing to me, but they. Oh, here's the weather. See how the water's barely just dripping out.
Right.
Now, if you were to put everything in the house on, the dishwasher, the clothes washer, you got multiple showers going, and you go. This is only with this one shower and a couple sinks going. You put more stuff on, that's going to keep on dropping down and dropping down and dropping down. So this is something that you might want to get a plumber out and see what's causing that. It should, even the second floor with 60 psi, you should have better pressure than that. That water should be shooting out, not going like this.
Now, is that something we should put in the report?
It'll be in the report, yeah. I'm required to call that out.
Yeah.
They love the state, so it'll be in there. That's just in the west. That's just saying that's the west bathroom. This is your air handler furnace up there. Filter is fine. There's 2 4-inch filters, so that's good. You don't have to switch them, but twice a year. This is the AC differential, so we're looking for a differential of 15 to 22 degrees. Basically, the difference between these two temperatures I'm going to show you. So 44 and 61. So that's what? 15 degrees? 15 degrees.
17? 44, 61, 17. What now?
17. Okay.
17. 17.
Okay, so it's within range.
Is that within?
That's within the range, yeah.
What did you
range
say
is
the range?
15 to 22. Or 15 to 20.
Fair enough.
So it's within the range. This is the second reading of the dishwasher to show that it did ultimately heat to over 130.
Mm-hmm.
So dishwasher was working fine. This is your other unit, 4-inch filter. And here we got a 43 and a 61. So that's 18 degrees. So good. Both of them are cooling good. This is just for me the 4 zones. I have a video here. The sprinkler system did work, but the control panel. I'm going to show you this video here in a second. I want you to look right up here. There should be a number showing a counting, and it was making a weird kind of funky flickering.
Oh,
you see how
sprinkler's not working. I mean, yeah. I'm sorry, what this one for?
This is sprinkler system. There's 4 zones.
Sprinkler system.
They all 4 zones worked, but something's going on with this. Is a Hunter pad. They're crappy pads. Mm-hmm. I just replaced the pad. It looks like that display is going out. The sprinkler system did work. This is first floor heating. 106 is good. The next reading is inside the master, I think. So the master is actually you control the temperature in the master from the upstairs thermostat. So they kind of screwed up the ducting a little bit. So if your master is too hot or too cold, if you go here to adjust it, it's not going to help your master. So you have to use the upstairs. It's just a little inconvenient. That's just.
I mean, I'm sorry. You what in the upstairs?
So let's say you wanted the master to be colder or warmer. If you came here and adjusted that, thinking it was going to work for here, it's only going to do.
No, I have to go to adjust it
upstairs. You have to go upstairs.
But I can adjust it that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's just a little funky. So this is just upstairs now, 95, 94. So the temperatures upstairs and in the master, these numbers are a little low, about 10 degrees, 15 degrees low. So you may want to just for peace of mind, have an HVAC guy come out and check out the furnaces. And that's it.
Okay.
That's everything. Any questions?
Any questions?
So on the report, when you put your recommendation in your, so give us some estimate.